Over the years, as the die-hard Zelda fans that we are, we've grown attached to the land of Hyrule. We see it as a second home of sorts that we can visit to escape our own world. We spend hours exploring landscapes, dungeons, villages, trying to uncover every secret possible, and yet, with almost every new game, we're introduced to a brand new incarnation of Hyrule that we can fall in love with all over again. We're told that the world itself was created by 3 golden goddesses. Din created the earth, Nehru the law of the world, and Farour created those who would uphold such laws. But the question remains, who actually built the Kingdom of Hyrule? I'm YuriofWind. Join myself, Game Over Jesse, and others as we uncover the mystery behind Hyrule's creation. Between the castles, villages, houses, bridges, and everything else that's found in Hyrule, we have to wonder who actually built all of this and where did the material come from? I think the simple answer would be to just say the Hylians, but I think it's a little more complicated than that.
I believe the Gorons are the real architects behind Hyrule as we know it. If we take a look at Hyrule and Skyward Sword, long before the Kingdom of Hyrule actually existed, the only Gorons we come across were actually very knowledgeable archaeologists. They are much more advanced than the rock-eating beasts that they are perceived as when we first encounter them in Ocarina of Time. With these 3 being archaeologists, we can assume that other jobs exist within the Gorons race, such as the 2 blacksmiths we see in Ocarina of Time. The Gorons themselves are known for living in giant, advanced caves they dug from the inside of an active volcano. In my opinion, this makes them the perfect race for mining caves.
After the events of Skyward Sword, when the Skyloftians came back from the sky to populate what would become the Hyrule that we know today, it would make sense that they would want to start building their first settlement, and would want to be reinforced in some way to keep out the dangers found within the world. To accomplish this task, they would naturally seek help from others who are already knowledgeable with building strong fortresses, and could gather the materials needed to create such huge structures.
We know the Gorons already live in mountainous areas, are great at mining, and can withstand extremely high temperatures, having incredible strength and can move extremely fast while rolling. This is why the Hylians would ask the Gorons for their help. I believe they would come to an agreement of sorts. Maybe the Gorons would dig and mine for the different materials and metals needed to build large castles and bridges found in Hyrule, and do most of the heavy lifting and moving of the materials themselves. Considering some Gorons are as large as the side of a mountain, this wouldn't be a problem for them.
The Gorons, with their incredible strength, resistance to heat, knowledge of mining, and the rest of their skills and abilities, would easily be able to mine for the resources needed to build Hyrule Castle, the Temple of Time, the Great Bridge of Hylia, and much more. Perhaps the Dodongo's Cavern and Death Mountain Crater are the result of the Gorons mining for the materials needed to build Hyrule as we see it in Ocarina of Time. However, in Twilight Princess, we see a much larger mining facility with much more advanced technology. This expansion of the mine was necessary to collect the rest of the material needed to build the much larger Hyrule Castle and Great Bridge as we see in Twilight Princess. In return, the Hylians would help protect them from unfamiliar enemies, creating a trading economy with them and include them as part of the hierarchy of Hyrule, possibly having them elect someone to represent them in the kingdom to ensure a strong bond between the 2 races and a lasting friendship.
One thing to note is that the Gorons didn't get the materials all on their own. In Ocarina of Time, we are introduced to the Goron's bracelet, the fire tunic, and the Megaton hammer. Through the use of these 3 tools, the Hylians would be able to continue mining without the help of any Gorons. The bracelets would allow those who aren't able to lift heavier objects and help with bombing further into caves and mines through the use of bomb flowers. The red tunic would allow the Hylians to withstand extreme temperatures and travel further and deeper within the volcano. The Megaton hammer or similar items would allow for the Hylians to actually mine, dig through, and break apart heavy stones. And, on top of all this, these are just 3 of the tools that the Gorons could have offered to the Hylians to help them mine on their own.
The hundreds of years we see between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess allowed for a more sophisticated architecture and mining tools, which is why we see the use of magnets and other technology in Twilight Princess's mines.
However, there is one thing that is a slight mystery. What happened with the relationship between the Gorons and the Hylians? At the end of Ocarina of Time, the Gorons have found a new respect for Hylians and even caused Link their brother for unblocking the entrance of Dodongo's Cavern and putting an end to King Dodongo. In Twilight Princess, however, the Gorons have a less amount of respect for Hylians. That may have been enabled by the Twilight Invasion. Perhaps sometime between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, the 2 races came into some sort of a squabble. Maybe the Hylians were demanding too much from the Gorons during the expansion of Hyrule and caused a bit of an economic disagreement. However, the true cause of this is a mystery for another time. We see Link and Twilight Princess gain the respect of the Gorons back by winning in a sumo wrestling match and by saving their brother, Darbus, from the control of the Few Shadow. With the Gorons once again being reintegrated within Hyrule society, could this newfound reintegration lead to yet another expansion of Hyrule?
If anyone's interested in checking out some videos on canceled games, some bootleg stuff, and whatever else I can think of, feel free to check out my channel over at YuriofWind.